Heads up, 20-ups. It is 8 minutes into Saturday. Okay, I've had such a crazy week. I've taken notes on Lucy's video and today before I went into work, and I took notes on Rima's and Danielle's after I got home from work, and I haven't had time to get back to take notes on Jins's video, and I should really take the notes as I'm watching the video, which I did with James and TJ's video, so I'm going to try and hit all of those right now while I'm doing laundry, and I have to multitask everything I do because I'm really busy now. I had work today from 4 p.m. till 10 p.m. and I didn't wake up until 2, so my entire morning was spent getting ready for work, and I barely had enough time to get Lucy's video in. And right now I have to do laundry as well because I have work again tomorrow and I've only got one work shirt. And James brought up how this year for Project for Awesome we should do a collab project where all of us combine, and we've all been talking about that, and I think that's such an amazing idea. We can all buckle down on one thing that we want to focus on as a group, and then if there's something else someone else wants to focus on, they have their own channel to do it with, so I think it's a brilliant idea. I also mentioned how the director is working closely with the writer of The Hunger Games to make that movie, and the first thing I immediately thought when you said that was, how is John doing on the Paper Town script? Because I really want to see that movie. You also brought up that you have problems concentrating on things, and that the juggling helped you fix that, sort of, I guess. And I have concentration problems too, all the time. Like the very first day I went into work, I had to wear long black socks. So I was in the kitchen, and I was like, I have to go put on socks, and I walked out of the kitchen, across the living room, down the hall, and into my bedroom. I picked up my wallet and my keys, put them in my pocket, walked back to the kitchen, and realized I completely forgot about the socks, which is why I went there for the first place. And you asked about my fedora. This is my only hat, and I have several shirts that match it, which are actually, one of them is right here. This is the shirt I was wearing in last week's video, and it matches the hat with the stripes, which is really cool. The thing about it is, I had that shirt for a long time before I got the hat. I got this hat back in September. My friend, well, it's a weird story. I stole it from my friend by accident, took this hat off of his shelf and put it on, and I was wearing it all day. And then, at the end of the day, when I went home, neither of us noticed that I wore it home, and then I got home and I was like, oh, I still have his hat, I have to give it back to him. And then 2 weeks later, he still didn't have it back. And by that point, my birthday rolled around. So on my birthday, we were hanging out, and he was like, dude, I don't even like that hat. You can have it. And I was like, okay, I have a new hat. And that happened about a month after I had cut my hair for Locks of Love. So without the hat, it was sort of like this, and it wasn't very great. And the hat really adds to the hair. I have like 3 other shirts that match this hat as well. It's black with stripes on it. And I have several shirts that match really well, completely unintentionally. TJ, you said that you wished you had a class like mine where you would do that stuff, and you probably did or didn't. I don't know what different school districts do in different states or stuff. The disability thing was more like a 2-day project where 2 days out of the entire class you spent learning about different disabilities and what to do about it. The entire rest of the class was more about learning to sew, do home stuff like cooking. You learned how to do the laundry, which I'm doing right now. And you mistook what I said a little bit about being embarrassed to vlog. My mom knows I vlog, and I'm embarrassed to talk to her about it because she's my mom, but pretty much anyone else I talk to that isn't in my family knows about my vlog. I tell all my friends about it. I tell them to get YouTube accounts to subscribe to me and watch my videos. And it's mostly just my mom and my immediate family that I'm really embarrassed to talk about it about. Everyone else is fine. I don't care what they really think, but for some reason I just can't do it around my mom, even though she already knows that I do it. You have to take a little trip because this clothing rack is full, so I have to go to the other one. Okay, Danielle. You, you said that you're a very ranty person. I too like to rant a little bit, but it's not like anything that's important. Like, all of my rants are opinions I have about really stupid things. Like, I did a rant on my main channel for Vita yesterday about Pokemon and how the Pokédex is such a stupid, insignificant piece of the game. And, I get really worked up over those tiny, minuscule things. And there are big topics like, the war in Iraq or whatever. Those things I completely stay neutral to the point. I never give myself an opinion, so I never go on a tangent with that, because I am always scared that I will have my facts wrong. And if my facts are wrong, I will be too embarrassed to admit it. And I would get really embarrassed if someone called me out on it, and that's why I don't do that. I usually keep neutral on important topics, and really, really stupid things I go on and on and on about. You brought up piano lessons, and how you took them from 1st grade to 5th grade, and then you took up flute. I took piano lessons pretty much during the same time frame. I started when I was in 2nd grade, and I ended in 5th grade because, not because I didn't want to continue it, because I really wanted to continue with it, and not because I picked up another instrument. It was that I was really slacking in school, and I was doing so many other things, like, not like important things, like going outside and playing too much and practicing the piano instead of doing my homework and little things like that. Because of that, my mom pulled me out of piano lessons so I could focus on my schoolwork, which didn't improve the entire rest of the semester anyway. So I completely regret being pulled out of that, and I wish my mom had kept me going with it, but what can you do about it when they're the ones paying for them? You also talked about how you deleted your notes and you have a sticky note, which I assume you have Windows 7, because I've used XP, Vista, and 7, and 7's the only one that comes with the sticky note feature. What I do with my notes is I have a notepad document. The notepad is a document. I take all the notes and I save it, and then I don't delete any of the notes until the next week of vlogging starts. Like, all the notes that I'm using in this video, I won't delete until tomorrow when I watch James's video. I'm done with the laundry, so I can do the rest of these notes down in the basement again. So, jump cut. That's normal. Everything looks blue now, though. Rima, I think it shows that you mentioned in your list that I remember watching as a kid that I didn't mention in my first video, so I'm just gonna go with that. Shows that I remember as a little kid that I forgot to mention last week and that nobody else had mentioned include Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, which I think was actually mentioned. Reading Rainbow was a huge one. I don't know how that one didn't get mentioned either, because I thought everybody watched that show. And another one, Rima, I'm kind of mad at you about this one a little bit, because I watched your Vita video too, and you said that this show kind of sucked, but it was one of my favorite shows, and I never missed an episode of it when it was on. The Beetleborgs. How could you say that was terrible? It was awesome. Well, I can see how you can say it's terrible, because I went back to watch some episodes, and they were terrible. But when I was a little kid, they were the greatest things ever, and I loved it. You also mentioned Pee-wee's Playhouse and Adventures in Wonderland, and I had never heard of either of those when I was a little kid. Like, I didn't hear about Pee-wee's Playhouse until like a year or two ago, when I wasn't technically a kid anymore. I was 18. You brought up Space Cases with the kids lost in space, driving a spaceship, and it reminded me of the show Lost in Space. It wasn't a kids show, but I remember watching a couple of episodes from that TV show, and it was like really old because I'd never watched it actually on TV. I watched them because my aunt had a couple of VHS tapes with that show on it, so that's how I know about that show. TJ and Lucy both asked how my new job is going, and really? Okay, now that the heater's off, I can get back, and while I was gone, I got a little glass of Mio. TJ and Lucy both asked me how my new job was going, and I guess it's going pretty okay. I'm I'm really freaked out because today was only my 4th day, and it was seriously only my 2nd day actually doing the register by myself. And to think after only 2 days of being there, they trust me to handle $250 in a cash register and handle all the sales going in and out. Stressful, that part, because I wasn't ready to be thrown straight into it that fast. In short, it's going really well. The one thing I don't like about it is the standing. I've had 3 8-hour shifts, and today I had a 6-hour shift, and that was 8, 8, 8, and 6 hours of non-stop standing, except for my half-an-hour lunch breaks. As an internet junkie, I'm used to a chair the entire day. I am not used to standing for that long at a time. My feet are killing me. But other than that, my job is going great. It's not as stressful anymore. Thanks for asking. Lucy also asked, along the lines of the TV shows, what movies we watched when we were little kids. And my answer is pretty much any Disney movie ever. Like Pocahontas, Cinderella, Mary Poppins, my all-time favorite movie ever. Mary Poppins is my favorite. I actually even saw the play on Broadway back in October. That was amazing too. But pretty much any Disney movie. And there's another one that I don't remember. I vaguely remember it. There's this kid and there's this animated green dragon. I'm pretty sure, from what I remember, it was called Pete's Dragon. I think. I'm not 100% sure on this. If somebody knows what I'm talking about, please correct me if I'm wrong. But I do remember that one. And pretty much any Disney movie ever. Anything animated. I remember seeing The Hunchback of Notre Dame in theaters as well. That's a cool one. The Lion King. Anything Disney, really. And Jins. Lastly. And lastly, because I'm getting to this in a really weird order, I think. Jins, you brought up how you like to watch Dexter's Lab, and I swear the only phrase I can remember from that show, even though I watched a lot of the episodes and I loved the show a lot and it was hilarious, the only thing I actually remember from any of the episodes at all is from the episode where he had to take a French test, so he turned on the recorder and put the headphones on while he slept to learn it in his sleep. And the player got stuck and it skipped and repeated the same line over and over again. Omelette du fromage. And then you also mentioned that when you're going through a stressful time, you should always focus on the positive things in your life, because everybody has something to get up again for when they've been knocked down, is the analogy I think you put with it. That's a great thing to think about it. That's what I've been trying to do all week with my new job. I've been really stressed out and freaking out because I didn't know anything about it. I've never done cashier. I've never run a register. I've never handled money to that extent. With my new job and everything that's going on, me learning all these new things over a course of 4 days now, it's been really tough, but I've been focusing on all the positive outcomes that have come out of this job, what I'm learning, how I've built my confidence up with it. So it's great advice that everyone should always follow, always. I will upload it for you if it's not too late for you to send it to me or something. And I don't know if you worked it out with anyone else to do this already, but in case the worst happened, nobody contacted you in time about it, and you miss Monday, I think you should be scot-free, nothing punished, like anything like that. But other than this, I do think that if someone misses a day, that they should get a punishment for it, so we should try and work something out like that too. Anyways, I started working on this an hour ago, and it's now 1 a.m., and I have to get to bed because I have another 8-hour shift tomorrow. So I'm gonna get this up soon. I'm going to bed now-ish in like another hour after I edit and upload it. So I will see James tomorrow, DFTBA, and I don't think I have anything else to say or add to the conversation. Bye.